Hi, my name is Monte Tilgner with the Iowa High School Athletic Association. This will be our training video for week 4, and we'll look at 9 plays from last week. I'd just like to say thank you to all the crews and individuals who are sending in these plays to either Jared, myself, or both. And we're just getting great plays sent in, which is really a key to having effective training videos. So let's go ahead and get started. This first play is something we don't see any very often. So hurdling. As with so many other fouls, we need to know the definition to help understand what is and what is not a foul. So very nice work by the crew here of understanding the rule. Rule 222, hurdling is an attempt by a player to jump or hurdle with one or both feet or knees over an opponent who is contacting the ground with no part of his body except one or both feet. So if you take a look at this play here, we are going to have this player definitely go up and try to hurdle, and that meets all the requirements. He tries to jump over an opponent who is on the ground with one or both feet, not touching with anything else. So penalty enforcement, we always got to talk about, and this is a foul by the offense. It would probably be about a yard behind the basic spot, which is the end of the run. So we would enforce that from the basic spot, and that is a 15-yard foul. So we would go from where he committed the hurdle, about the 15-yard line, position 5, back, and we would repeat second down from the 30-yard line. Next play. It's a great example of intentional grounding. And remember how to handle this as a crew. This is a crew call. It's very rare that the referee is going to be able to get this call all by himself. He almost always needs help because he has one aspect, which is pressure on the quarterback if he's outside the tackle box or inside the tackle box, under duress, and so on. But the second part has to be if that receiver's in the area or if that ball crosses the line of scrimmage. And usually the quarterback is getting hit, so the referee is going to be staying with that quarterback and not know exactly what happens with the ball. But let's go back and take a look at this again, because this may actually be loose in his hand, and that's called an empty hand is what we're looking for. And if that is the case, if we did have an empty hand, then that would be a fumble. If we would have fumble, we cannot have intentional grounding. If we have it as a pass, we can have intentional grounding, and because it occurred in the end zone, the result will be a safety, and that's exactly what was ruled by the crew. So very nice job. So let's take a look here again. Our philosophy is, when in doubt, we want it to be a forward pass and not a fumble. So, but here's what I'm talking about with the empty hand. It looks like maybe that ball is out. Hard to tell. So we're going to fall back on philosophy, and we're going to go with the pass. And there you can see the ball does not reach the line of scrimmage. Ball goes out of bounds, maybe behind the goal line even. And we snapped that ball originally from, it looks like, about the 4-yard line. So we would have intentional grounding in the end zone, which would result in a safety. The referee, again, is going to be staying with that quarterback. So we would want our line judge to come into him and say that the ball did not make it to the line of scrimmage. Remember, we do not want to 0-2-0 that. We want to have that funny whistle, tweet, 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 and we want to run into our referee who's going to be at the spot where the pass was made, and we tell him that the ball didn't cross the line of scrimmage, and then he's got the other piece of it with him being under duress, and then he drops the flag for intentional grounding. And with that being a safety, we would want that flag to be dropped in the end zone. So very nice job by the crew. Next kickoff from this particular game was at the 20-yard line. Remember, if we have a safety, we kick off from the 20. They can move it wherever they want. And remember, it could be a punt and not a kick off of a tee like this if they would want it to be. Next part of this is the ball's just getting kicked right now. So we always have to think about K's line being a pane of glass. We always got to be thinking about that if we're the back judge. So we have at least this player is definitely encroached. He has broken that pane of glass. Not far enough that if we had a deep kick, we would want to shut it down. But as soon as we see a squib or a pooch, we must shut it down and enforce 5-yard encroachment penalty and re-kick. Because on this one, you can see we've got this a line drive kick that hits number 54 right here, goes back, and team R almost gets their hands on this ball. So hits him, ball's legally touched by R. If we don't have encroachment by K, then we would need to wind the clock, remember, because we do have legal touching now in the field of play. We'd want to wind the clock, and you can see that this ball bounces back, and Team K almost comes up with it. So just some good things to think about there. All right, this shows a very good job of our new umpire mechanic, and this new mechanic is what allows this umpire to see a hold on this play. So as we go forward, again, sorry, I went back too far. With our new mechanic, umpires creep up, and you can get even a little closer. You could probably be a yard or two closer, right behind these linebackers. But watch this umpire; he does a nice job. He's starting pretty close. He's about 7 yards, and he will step up as soon as he can. And then when it gets safe and the players pass him, he will turn. And when he does that, he's able now to see this action of the second and third wave, and he's going to see a hold that's going to occur right here. Our line judge does a good job of picking this up as well. There's no threat of a foul here, so he's looking back, and this is the first action on his side. Our headline judge, we would want to be on this action right here. But let's watch this action right here, and you can see we've got a good restriction there. So let's talk about penalty enforcement. Remember, we start with 3 words, either during the kick or during the return. If we have it during the kick, the basic spot will be the end of the kick. That will be PSK. If it's during the return, we have just a running play, and the basic spot is the end of the run. So after we know the basic spot, we look at the enforcement spot. So if you're unsure, then put it during the return. So on this one, it's pretty tight. So if you put it during the return, I think they put it during the kick, which probably was. So we would need our beanbag at that spot, which I believe we get a beanbag coming out here. And we're going to enforce it from the end of the kick there. So we get 2 flags. We just want to talk about it, make sure that we know what we've got. Next play, another punt play, illegal block in the back during the return. And just, again, a comment about our mechanics here. We want our line judge to run immediately at the snap, hard downfield, we want you 30, 35, 40 yards downfield, if at all possible, when that guy starts returning this kick. The headline judge at the top, wait till that ball, once you see it's going to be kicked clean, you can start to go. And then if you see that ball go straight up in the air, you can come back to that line at scrimmage if you need to. But what I've noticed is a lot of our headline judges are just getting 10 yards downfield. So you can see we're just walking there. We want you on a sprint, getting downfield as far as you can, because you only get to 10 yards. You don't even get to 10 yards. So this is the action we're going to watch. This is chase mode right here, and that is a block in the back. We have picked up perfectly by our back judge. And remember, mechanically speaking, back judge has a return man until he becomes a runner. And then he should focus on blocks, which is what he did. Great call there. And our headline judge is, his primary is progress. So he may or may not see blocks depending on if there's action around that return man. When this block occurs, if our headline judge was down here, which is where I want him to be, down here about the 40-yard line, he would be looking, I want that to be an arrow, sorry, hold on a second. He would be looking right at that if he's here, and he would have a good view at that as well, and he could probably throw also. So let's now talk about penalty enforcement. We always want to talk about that. So again, we have during the returns, we have a run, and we're going to enforce our basic spot. Our basic spot. We always want to talk about that first. Basic spot is the end of the run, which was, it looks like, let's just say the 45-yard line. Our enforcement spot, it's a foul by the offense behind the basic spot, and therefore we're going to enforce it from the spot of that foul, which is the 28-yard line, 29, 28-yard line, and from position 5. So we're going to go back from the 28, 29-yard line. Let's make it the 29. From position 5, we're going to go 10 yards back, and we will be on the snap because we had a legal kick play. So handled very well by the crew. Okay, another one here. We've got another punt play, and this one, it'd be easy to get fooled. Okay, so we need to know who is R and who is K. So in this case, what we're going to see here is watch the action by these two players, and remember that Team R is in black. And if we take a look here, the block here is by the team in white, which is K. So this return man is going to turn around, and they're both going to kind of block each other, but the kicking team player gets the better of him and sends him to the ground. So this is a block by Team K, and this is not a blindside block, obviously, but so this would not be a foul, even if it was a block in the back. That would not be a foul. You can block in the back if you're making an attempt to get to a runner, which is what the case would be here. So just make sure we understand who is Team K and who is Team R. All right, next one, we've got a kickoff out of bounds, options for R, and when in doubt of where it went out. So this is kind of an odd one. Crew sent this in, and we're like, could we line up somebody like we do on a punt play? And you can see that the ball is sailing out of bounds. Ball's right here, if you keep an eye on it. Goes out of bounds and lands right there, almost at the track. So if you think about the angle of that ball, we got to make a judgment on it. But the whole thing is, if we're not sure, let's not penalize them unless we're sure, and not go past the 30-yard line. If we go past the 30-yard line, which we did in this case, and we might be right, but if we're not sure, stop at the 30 and just go 5 from the 30. If we go to the 31 or the 33-yard line, then we know we're just going to tack on 5 yards from that out-of-bounds spot. We really don't have to ask the coach, hey, do you want to re-kick? When they're going to take the ball at the 35-yard line or even more, they're almost always going to want the ball at that spot. Next play is, what is aiding the runner, and what do we do when we have doubt? So what is our when in doubt rule? I talked about this quite a bit this week, and this is Jared's comment. Pushing the pile forward has become more prominent at the high school level. This act alone does not necessarily constitute a violation of Rule 9-1 unless the offensive player is in direct contact with the runner and is deliberately attempting to move him forward. Key word here is deliberately, meaning we want 2 hands. That doesn't mean if we have 2 hands, we're going to have it. This is, I think, a key point here. We only want aiding the runner to be called if we have a player with 2 hands in the middle of the back of the runner for an extended time pushing him forward. Okay. This, again, when in doubt, they're pushing the pile, or it's not extended long enough, and therefore we would not have a foul. If we would have a foul, again, the enforcement is going to be, we have a running play, basic spot's going to be the end of the run. The foul usually, is definitely going to be behind the end of the run because they're pushing him forward. So wherever you've ruled that he started that push, we're going to have the enforcement spot from that because foul by the offense behind the basic spot. Again, it's not something we want to go out looking for. We want all those things to be apparent to have this foul. Really good play sent in here. Just another reminder, of our when in doubts. When in doubt, wipe it out. No cheap turnovers. A couple of catchphrases we have. So really good example of this here on this catch, no catch. All right, we do not want to make this a catch, fumble, and what would be a scoop and score. Okay, this ball comes out way too quickly. Now, when we slow it down, we can almost make anything look like a catch, but this ball comes out way too quickly. He possesses it, he secures it, but doesn't have time to put it away. This ball just pops out, going regular speed. You can see, just wipe that out every time. Every single time, make that incomplete. It's just way too tight. Very quick, decisive call. Excellent judgment to make that incomplete. We got one bonus play. I forgot about this one, so I just put it in. What's a foul on this play? We've got an obvious onside kick, so you can see we've got 4 in the box. Remember, if the ball is coming towards you, you have touching primary, and if the ball is going away from you, you have blocking primary. We need to start the clock once it's legally touched, and if it's a dribbler up the middle, you're just kind of trying to get a hold of everything. So let's take a look at this play. First full speed. You can see we've got a block. So we've got a dribbler here. Again, treat this as a pane of glass. When this ball is kicked, which is right now, it's really tight. But if we don't have encroachment, then this ball is dribbled. The ball is actually right here. The ball is, we have a player coming forward to try to recover it. He's trying to recover this ball, and the ball's still back here, and we have a block. So we have illegal blocking. They can't block before that ball goes 10 yards. It's a 10-yard penalty. We got to know kind of the result of this play to know how to enforce this. But the question came up, can we have KCI on this play? And we need to, again, understand when you can have KCI. KCI stands for kick, catch, interference. So we need to be catching a kick. And you can't catch a kick if it's been grounded. So this is a dribbler. This ball never got in the air. Therefore, we don't have a, we can't catch. We can recover this kick, but we can't catch it. And if we look at Article 6 in 656, when a free kick is in flight in or behind the neutral zone to the receiver's goal line, or any scrimmage kick is in flight beyond the neutral zone to the receiver's goal line, K shall not obstruct R's path to the ball. So again, since this ball is not in flight, it's been grounded, we could not have KCI. But we would have a foul for illegal block. We need to continue to see what the result of this play is. So now we've got Team K who illegally touches the ball, but they also recover the ball at the 49-yard line. And we know that they are not in legal possession. So that's our dead ball spot. So since they're not in legal possession, the ball legally goes over to Team R, and therefore we could enforce this 10-yard penalty from the dead ball spot because all K fouls except for KCI can be enforced from the previous spot or the dead ball spot. In this case, the dead ball spot. So we're going to go 10 yards from the 49 to the 39-yard line, and it would be Team R's ball. And the clock would be on the snap because we have a legal scrimmage kick or legal free kick. So yeah, just some really good things to think about there. We do have a flag coming in, which is excellent. Here comes our flag. We do need to get that clock started and stopped. Don't know that we got to wind, but we would want to wind that clock. All right, that is it for our plays. And yeah, great plays. Keep sending in these plays. Wonderful job. Keep working hard. We're getting to the heart of the season, and keep pre-gaming. Keep getting in the rule book, and go out there and work a great game. And we'll talk to you again next week.